This church could not operate if it were not for the many wonderful volunteers and leaders who serve God in what they do. And as a pastor and shepherd of such wonderful people, I want you to know this morning that I truly, listen to me now, I truly appreciate everything that you do, every sacrifice that you make. I appreciate it because I know you don't have to do what you do, because kingdom people serve. But listen, before we move forward, we have to understand the context in which God has called us to serve. Just a few stats to understand the context in which we serve. Do you realize that the fastest growing group of homeless people is children under 9 years of age? Did you realize that right here, this great metropolis, this great Mecca in Atlanta, Atlanta is the poorest city in the U.S. for children. More children in Atlanta live in poverty than in any other city. The dropout rate, did you know, in Atlanta high schools are 12.8%, double the average in the entire state. But listen, that's the context in which God calls us to serve. That's the context that kingdom people are called to serve. And just think about the possible solution if we get into the mindset to understand that we are kingdom people. Look at a possible solution. What would it look like, if possible, if retired educators and administrators form a task force in the church to work alongside the Christian education to consult on the possibilities? The possibilities of maybe a Toforiata Heritage Academy that is full-time for students in our community. What about the possibilities? But see, kingdom people serve. The unemployment rate in the city of Atlanta is 10.4%. The unemployment rate for the whole state of Georgia is 11%. When we look at the context in which we serve, when we look that there's no jobs in our community, think about the possible solution that the entrepreneurs and the business owners that are in the church come together to guide the church in an effective spirit-led business practices that move the church from the traditional chicken dinner fundraisers to maybe starting a business. Instead of selling the chicken, why don't we manufacture the chicken? Possible solutions if we understand what being kingdom people is about, because not only do kingdom people pray, but kingdom people serve. But it takes leadership. When I look back over my life, I see the hand of God in everything that had happened, whether good or bad, in my life. And now all I'm doing now is, I pray that we will understand it, is that we offer it back unto God. Now I just imagine, I don't know if it's true, but I imagine that whatever your career path is in life, I imagine at some point or another, you ask somebody to pray for you to get a job. I don't know. I know somehow or another when we were in college getting our degrees that we prayed that somebody you asked to pray for you to pass the test, to get the degree, to get the job. But why is it that once we benefit from the prayers of the saints, that somehow we departmentalize our service to the world and our service unto God? Kingdom people serve. How is it that we can go into a corporate meeting in our job and spouse off all corporate rhetoric and give the job the best that we got, and yet when we come into the church, the farthest we can think is a bake sale? When we see the need. Now, if you don't see the need now, that's something different. You don't see the need. But the need is ever before us. God is calling us to use our gifts for the kingdom. Kingdom people.